Greetings everyone, and I hope you're all fit and well out there, and welcome back to the channel for another 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review. And today we're going to be taking a deep dive into Sideshow Collectibles' 1/6 scale take on everyone's worst nightmare. Yes, it's none other than Freddy Krueger, aka Robert Englund, as he appeared in the third instalment of the Nightmare on Elm Street series, directed by Chuck Russell, and Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors. The review will take the usual format. We'll have a quick look at the box, then we'll swiftly dive down onto the table to have a look at all the accessories, then it'll be out with the son of 1,000 maniacs himself for a close-up look, and finally we'll be wrapping the whole thing up with the usual showcase at the end. But before we get into it, some background and some shout-outs. I would like to send a massive thank you to everyone who has subscribed and supported to the channel since we first started. You are heroes, and I thank you one and all. And to those of you watching the channel but not subscribing, stop wavering and throw yourself into the deep end. Come and join us. The water is just fine. It's cost and pain free, and you'll be supporting Go Figure to keep doing what we're doing here, and you'll also have the added bonus of being able to bathe in the warm light of self-satisfaction, knowing that you've helped an old collector to safely cross the 6-scale highway. Oh, and I'd also like to say a massive thank you as well, while we're on the subject of thank yous, to everyone who took part in our recent 6-scale giveaway. Congratulations to the winners. If you could email the address in the comments section of the prize draw video with your shipping details, we will get those prizes out to you as soon as possible. And yeah, a massive thank you to everybody who took part. So, background. I am not going to bang on about the Elm Street series or Freddy Krueger too much because, I mean, unless you've relocated to Mars somewhere around 1984, it's more than likely you already know the pretty much everything that there is to know about Freddy and Elm Street. Regulars to my channel will know I am a massive horror fan, and what horror collection would be complete without a 1/6 scale Freddy Krueger? So this particular iteration of Freddy was released about 6 years ago by Sideshow, and as I say, it's based on the third film in the franchise. But I actually picked this figure up about a year ago when it was re-released. But that's enough of my Elm Street ramblings. Let's take a look at the box. So let's stop it from spinning and have a quick look. And it's the usual Sideshow shoebox design. What have we got here? So on the front, there's a picture of the figure itself, very nicely photographed in sort of this boiler room style diorama, with some blood spatter in the top right hand corner. It says Freddy Krueger in the top left hand corner. So as I said, you've got a shot of the figure itself. It says A Nightmare on Elm Street at the bottom there. Sideshow 6-scale figures. We'll bring it round. On this side, once again, Nightmare on Elm Street, Sideshow, blood spatters. Pretty much the same story on the other side, I think, as well. Yeah, let's have a look at the bottom. Just blood spatters, just more blood spatters on the top as well. And around the back, we've got another photograph of the figure. Very nicely photographed. Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger, Sideshow again. No warnings on here that can be seen. I'm assuming they're probably on the inside, but I would imagine the ones on the inside say, don't piss this figure off, or you might not wake up, or some such thing. So yeah, there's the box. Something conspicuous by its absence with this box as well. I mean, because this figure was advertised as being from, as I mentioned before, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, but nowhere on the box does it say that. It just says A Nightmare on Elm Street. Odd. But it is what it is. So obviously this isn't a new figure to me. Had it in the collection about 12 months. But yeah, what we'll do next is what we always do. We'll dive down onto the table and have a look at all the accessories that come with your Freddy Krueger figure. Okay, so here we are down on the table in what promises to be probably the quickest accessories section we've ever had on this channel, because literally this is everything that the figure comes with. You've got these 3 hands and the display stand, so we'll crack on. You know me and my hands. We'll start with the hands and not the display base. You get 3 hands. There is a left hand, an ungloved one, and the 2 knife-gloved right hands. We'll take a look at the left hand first. We'll get this into shot. And yeah, the sculpting here looks pretty good, actually. They've captured that sort of burnt, stretched flesh look that Krueger has pretty much all over his body very, very well indeed. There's sort of exposed portions of flesh there. The skin is stretched and twisted. The paint applications are pretty good. There's creasing in the palms of the hands. There's sort of touches of red. It looks like they've dry brushed into the crevices there, sort of red washes as well to give it that sort of almost bloody look. The fingernails are quite well done, and once again with that those touches of red paint. But yeah, overall, very, very well done and very, very effective. So yeah, that is the ungloved hand, and then you get two gloved hands. We'll take a look at both of them because they are slightly different. This one is, I mean, how can I describe it? This is sort of, well, it is how you see it. It's not fully extended. The thumb and the two forefingers are extended, but the other two fingers are slightly more bent in than on the other one. But we'll take a look at that as well. But yeah, the sculpting here looks really, really good. The paint applications on here to give that leather feeling, and there's creasing in there, and there's dry brushing in there to give that that texture, that leather-like look. The rivets are done really well. The metal plate on the back of the hand there, if the light's catching this, has got some dry brushing on it to give it that sort of copper metallic look. There's shading on the fingers there. The joints are picked out, although these aren't articulated. They almost look like they could move. So yeah, nice sculpt, nice paint applications. There's the hole in the palm there, which is completely screen accurate. The paint applications on the skin underneath are really nice. Yeah, and overall the paint applications on the glove to create that brown leather look are really, really good. Onto these blades now. Screen accuracy looks on point to me. These are all metal, I believe. They're cold to the touch, and I believe they're all metal, and they're just done really, really well. The sculpting is on point. The length is right, and they've even got this sort of blood spatter effect on the ends there. It's not overdone, which is really nice to see. It's quite subtle. But yeah, overall, yeah, very, very impressive. I am liking that hand a lot. So let's take a look at the other one. Let's compare them. As you can see, this was more sort of, how could I put it, open palm than the other one. But yeah, once again, it's got the same level of detailing on there. The sculpt is of the same high quality. The paint applications are on point. And once again, those blades are metal, and they have that hint of blood spatter on the end of them as well. So yeah, really, really nice. I'm liking those a lot. So we'll put the gloves to one side. And we'll, the only other thing you get with this is the Sideshow display stand. Very, very simplistic. It's the usual Sideshow hexagon, and underneath, not an awful lot going on here. There's nothing written on here. There's no felt pads or feet or anything like that. So I would say exercise caution. This thing might move around in your display or on your shelf. All one piece of plastic. And all you've got here is the Nightmare on Elm Street logo across the front. Once again, I still am bemused, even a year down the line, when it's been advertised as being from the Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors movie. Does it not say this on the base or on any of the packaging? Odd, but it is what it is. I am not the world's biggest fan of Sideshow bases stands. I'll be completely honest here. I think they are, how can I put this? They feel like an afterthought. The way this has been printed on the top here is it's sort of a super shiny black, but really, unless you've got light on it like this and it's reflecting off that, it really is lost in the display. So it just looks like a generic hexagonal black plastic base. You know, if I could send a love letter to Sideshow, it would have a caveat attached to it that really you could do so much more with the bases, and especially at this price point. I'd like to see maybe a mini diorama or some kind of nameplate at the front here. Maybe this lettering done in a different colour so it stands out. There's so many things you could do. It just sort of feels a bit like an afterthought, unfortunately, and it's the case with an awful lot of Sideshow figures, but that's just my opinion for what it's worth. So yeah, that's your base. Comes with a standard issue crotch grabber, which fits in thusly, and that's it. That's everything that comes with your Freddy Krueger figure. So without further ado, let's bring out the Nightmare himself, get him onto the stand, onto the turntable, and have a close-up look at him. Okay, so here he is. It's Freddy Krueger himself onto the stand, onto the turntable. Before we dive into it, something has come to my attention that we missed in the accessories section. There is a fisted hand, an ungloved fisted hand, with all the suitable burn marks and sculpts on it, which seems to have gone astray for the momentarily, and I cannot for the life of me find it. I am sure it will turn up. I apologise most sincerely for not covering absolutely everything here, but take my word for it. There is a fisted hand as well, which has got the same quality of sculpt and paint design as you see on this ungloved hand on the figure itself. But yeah, apologies for that. But swiftly moving on. So I can't give first impressions on this figure. Simply, I've had this figure in the collection about a year, as I mentioned at the top there. But I can give my second, third, fourth, fifth impressions of it, as I always do. And straight away, yeah, I'm pretty impressed. The proportions look on point to me. The outfit looks on point. The head sculpt looks very good. Yeah, it all looks pretty impressive. I know there was some consternation, shall we say, on the first release, the first iteration of this figure, before we got the revised one. But we'll cover those when we have the up close look. So yeah, let's have an up close look at this guy. Let's stop him from spinning, get him off the turntable, and get him into camera so we can take a close up look. I did put him in a slight pose. Don't normally do that when we bring the figure out. Normally I keep him in a neutral pose, but just couldn't resist with this one. But yeah, let's take him off the stand and get him into shot. We'll start at the bottom like we always do and work our way up. So booted feet, which are pegged straight onto the legs themselves. There's some movement in here. It's pretty good. There's lateral movement, not an awful lot of forward and back movement. There is some forward movement, but yeah, the movements are not the best in the world. There's no split cut boot design here. They're all one piece of sculpted plastic. There's some nice tread on the bottom there. Perhaps could do with a little bit of weathering, but yeah, the laces are sculpted quite nicely. There is some stitch work on there and creasing in the boots themselves. The paint applications are pretty good to give that leather look. And as far as I can tell, and I will say from the get-go here, I am not a huge aficionado of Freddy. I'm a big fan and I've seen all the movies, but I can't go into the minutiae of the detailed changes in costume from one movie to the next. However, having revisited 3 prior to making this, it looks pretty. They look pretty accurate to me. So yeah, that's the boots. Then you move up to the pants themselves. Now these pants. Now this is where some consternation came to light, shall we say, on the first iteration of this figure, and I believe the pants were more of a blue shade. It seems like Sideshow fixed that with this 2.0 version, and they've gone for the more brown look, which is far more screen accurate as far as I can tell. But yeah, the pants are very, very simple. They're a decent, relatively high quality cotton. The stitch work is nice. The seams are well done here. The stitch work around the bottom is well done. Very, very simple pair of straight leg pants. Good stitch work on there, and you know me and my OCD around 6-scale stitch work. I do like it to be on point, so that it doesn't throw the rest of the figure out. But yeah, the body itself. Now we're going to talk about articulation. There's an elephant in the room that we can't get away from here. Now I actually got this figure brand new, as I say, about a year ago, and it came out of the box like this. And as you can see, now that leg's just twisted a little bit, so we'll just turn it round. I think that's just from the pose that we had him in. These legs are very, very loose. There isn't a double bend, it's a single bend at the knee there, but it is quite loose, and it came this way. And this hip joint in the left leg as well is very, very loose. You can literally just tap this, and it sort of, as you can see, it just swings around freely. And I know, we're reviewing this figure, and we're not reviewing other Sideshow figures, but it's worth mentioning here that perhaps Sideshow bodies are not known for perhaps being the best quality, and this is probably a prime example of that. Yeah. Oh, it's staying up now, but as you can see, that just is... It's not really acceptable in a brand new figure, that, especially not at this price point. But yeah, it is what it is. We don't have that issue with the left leg, the right leg for some reason. But moving swiftly on, we come up to the eponymous sweater. Now it's a very simple outfit. This, as Freddy's outfit is, it's simply pants, boots, hat and sweater, and that's pretty much all you get. But yeah. The sweater itself looks very, very nice. The proportions look nice. It's made out of I'm not sure whether this is actually a wool material or a man-made or a cotton. I suspect it's cotton, but the weave is quite nice. So the scale's kept there, so the 6 scale weave in there is very, very good. Here lies another one of the issues that a lot of people had with the first iteration of this figure, was the colour of these stripes. Now, I'm not sure how this colour is coming off under this lighting, but I believe in the first run of figures these stripes were actually were black. Now they do have, and I think they do have a more green hue here under these lights. You can actually pick out that it's a dark, so almost bottle green. So whether Sideshow actually improved that, I suspect they did, because there were also issues around this collar. Now, if you look at the collar on the box here, I don't know if the camera will focus on this, but the initial run, the neck on this, the collar on this this sweater was pretty poor, and it was folding over. It looks like they've addressed that issue here and made it a lot more screen accurate, a lot more in line with what's actually on the box. So yeah. Looks like some improvements have been made to that jumper, and it looks very good. It's frayed around the edges here on the arms and frayed around the bottom here, which is screen accurate. There's chunks missing out of it, there's threads hanging down, and that extends around the back as well. The articulation now, once again, as I mentioned, this was a brand new figure about a year ago, and it came out of the box like this. We have another articulation issue in this arm. This arm, the shoulder joint here, is very, very loose. Now, you've got a butterfly joint in there, but it's an exceptionally loose one. And this arm just sort of has a tendency to swing freely, as does this leg. And it's jointed at the waist as well. Here, as you can see, there's a ball joint at the chest and waist. So you get a really good range of motion in that twisting action. So you can get some really, really good poses out of this figure. But once again, it's quite loose, and literally, if you sort of hold him by the chest area, the whole bottom part of the body actually shakes. Yeah, it's let down this really by the body itself. But yeah, let's continue onwards. We've already looked at these gloves, so we know what's going on there. That looseness doesn't extend to the right hand side for some reason. Maybe he's had a stroke, I don't know. Yeah, we'll scratch that, forget I said that. The left arm here, as I say, too loose for my liking, but overall, yeah, barring this body, the overall look is very, very good. Let's take a look at this head sculpt. Now, I think this is the real sort of selling point, shall we say, of this particular figure. I think the head sculpt is absolutely on point. I really do. I think they've done a fantastic job here. Once again, the paint applications and the sculpt, that burnt skin, and it's not overly done. It's not too bloody in those areas of exposed flesh underneath that twisted skin. It's just right. And yeah, there are bits of flesh exposed. There's a chunk missing out of his ear. The nose is the right shape and size. The proportions are absolutely spot on. It's a fixed neck head sculpt, this one. Well, oh no, I tell a lie. It's not. It's actually on a ball joint, this one. So you've got a good range of motion, and the neck actually moves itself. It would have perhaps been nice to see a head sculpt without hat, because unfortunately this hat is actually stuck on to the figure itself and can't be removed. So you can't actually go for that look where he doesn't have the fedora on. It would have been nice to see perhaps another head sculpt included, but overall, yeah, that sculpt is absolutely spot on. The eyes are nice and glassy, they're the right colour. These teeth are really, really well painted. They've got that yellowy discoloration, there's a black wash in between them, and you can even see portions of the gums, and the skin is stretched around the mouth really, really nicely. And overall, yeah, very, very well done indeed. And if I can just get this, I'm going to angle this head off a little bit so you can see that those burns and that discoloration and those paint applications to give the effect of exposed flesh are continued down through the neck as well. So yeah, that to me really is the selling point. There are bits that let this figure down, but the head sculpt itself is absolutely spot on. as far as I'm concerned. Not so impressed with the hat. I perhaps would have liked to have seen a removable material hat. Once again, another bone of contention with some people who picked this, the initial release of this figure up was the actual colour of the hat. Now, it's supposed to be brown. It's a brown fedora, dark brown fedora that he wears, and this looks to me like they haven't altered the colour. Well, actually, I tell a lie. It does have... It's difficult to tell. Sometimes, under certain lighting conditions, it looks like a very dark brown, and then under others, it just looks black. The camera is sort of hinting at dark brown here, but as I'm looking at it now, it still looks black. So, yeah, perhaps the colour's not 100% accurate, and it would have been nice to see a removable hat. But overall, yeah, a really, really good head sculpt in my opinion. So, yeah, there you have it. That's Freddy himself. So let's get him back on the stand, get him spinning again, and going for our final thoughts on this one. So yeah, it's a tough one, this, because it's very difficult to actually to judge this figure and not be influenced by some of, how can I put this politely, some of Sideshow's shortcomings. And the two big ones that stick out for me are their bases that really, really need improving, and their bodies. I've got a number of Sideshow collectible figures, and unfortunately have been plagued, shall we say, by bodies that are substandard at this price point. But it's difficult to judge because there are some major flaws, but there are some really, really good points. I think the head sculpt, absolutely. If I was scoring the head sculpt on its own, I would give it a 9.5. However, we're not scoring just the head sculpt, we're scoring the entire figure. I think there are some issues there. The stand, the body, yeah, they're going to lower the score. The head sculpt, absolutely spot on. I think they've actually, the alterations they've made, if they have made any, and if I'm getting this completely wrong, please correct me in the comment section below. The alterations that they've actually made to the outfit, I think, are a really good idea. And changing the colour of those pants, if they had been changing the colour of that jumper, have improved it. Although I never owned the original anyway. But yeah, overall, what kind of score would I give this? That's a tough one. I'm going to go with possibly. Let's go. I'm going to go with an 8. 7.5 to an 8. I think the major downside is the body. The body really, really needs to be improved at this price point, and that stand as well. That stand sort of lets it down a little bit as well. But yeah, let's go with an 8. I'm feeling happy with an 8. So there you have it. That's Freddy Krueger from A Nightmare on Elm Street 3: Dream Warriors, allegedly. Although there's nothing. There's nothing anywhere on the box to indicate it's from that film. What are your thoughts? What are your take? Do you have this figure in your collection? What do you think? Does it suffer with the same issues this one does? I'd be fascinated to find out. So drop a comment in the comment section below. Are you thinking of picking this figure up? I know it's been around for a year or so, but do you have another Freddy in your collection from another company, and you've managed to compare it to this one? I'd be really interested to find out. So please, drop a comment in the comment section below. And that about wraps it up for this review. As always, thank you for watching. Oh yeah, we need to, I almost forgot what's coming up on the channel. A lot of stuff in the 6 scale world. As I think I mentioned in the previous video, the in-art Batman has finally started to ship, and we have one on its way to us as we speak. So as soon as that arrives, that'll be going under the camera. Also on its way is Redmond Toys Dracula Blue, the 2.0 version. That's the formal wear version, Gary Oldman in Bram Stoker's Dracula. We've got the Org Toys, Duke Leto and Gurney Halleck. They are both on their way as well. VTS Toys, Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII, the remake. Blitzway, Astro Boy version 2, Deluxe Edition. Massively looking forward to that, of course. And we are all waiting with bated breath for this. It's the Caustic Plastic Horror Dracula Deluxe Edition double pack. Present toys, lots of present toy stuff coming in. There's Kaneda from Akira, Ripley from Aliens, Anton Chigurh for No Country for Old Men. Yeah, In the quarter scale world, there's the Prime 1 and Blitzway, Paul Atreides statue. That's on its way to us as well. Yeah, lots and lots of stuff as always. So, but yeah, please, if you haven't already, hit that bell notification icon so you're not missing any of that content that's coming up on the channel. I suppose all that remains for me to say is thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves, and it's over to the showcase.